Did Sarah make it on?
She is back in, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a full house. You have all your members.
Okay, great.
I'm back. Sorry, Wendy.
No worries. Just wanted to make sure you got on all right.
Can you guys see me? I can't tell if I have my screen on or off.
No.
You do not have
Just
your
your
screen on.
name.
What?
Just
got
see
your name. You're incognito like the rest of us.
No beautiful face.
I was gonna come out of cognito seeing I wasn't in my dirty clothes.
You should. We got-
Take 30 seconds. I think you can probably start.
Okay. So I'd like to welcome everyone to the Bridgewater Conservation Commission meeting. It is August 24th. We have a quorum, so we will open the meeting. And the time is now waiting for it to hit 5:59 p.m. I'll now, for the record, members and staff present, we have a full house. So we have Harry Bailey, Marilyn McDonald, Eileen Prisco, Sarah Sperber, Bob Ruley, Director of Community and Economic Development, and myself, Wendy Smith. I'll now read the governor's order for online meetings into the record. Disclosure pursuant to section 20 of chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. This meeting of the Conservation Commission for the town of Bridgewater will be hybrid and accessible to the public through remote participation to the greatest extent possible. There will be no public attendance permitted. Citizens who wish to tune into the meeting may do so via Zoom. The link and the phone number is located on the bridgewaterma.org website. We have public comment. If there's anybody on the meeting that would like to say anything, ask any question of the Conservation Commission, or has a comment that they need to share, not having to do with anything that's on our agenda tonight, you can use the raise your hand emoji that's down in reactions, or you can wave at Mr. Ruley.
There is a individual, Mark, that has his hand up, and Mark, I only sent you that message because one of the applicants' name is Mark too, so. Name
So
and
hi,
address.
Mark, just again, you want to say your name and address for the record?
Sure, Mark Peterson, 43 Church Street. I go public comment. One of the comments is I've been kind of scouring some of the order of conditions for a lot of towns and projects in different towns and looking for stuff to help prevent invasive plant spread. And I noticed, here and there that they're different all along, but I noticed one little item that seemed like an easy trial balloon of how this condition could be added to maybe our boilerplate order of conditions for most projects. And it's about stopping the spread of invasive plants by having contractors clean their equipment and clean their mats that they use during the project. I found it's probably a number of them, but I found it for the town of Hudson for one of their projects. The order is one items reads, all equipment and timber mats shall be cleaned prior to use on the site to prevent the introduction of invasive species. If it is necessary to clean construction equipment while on the site, it must be cleaned outside of the 100-foot buffer zone, riverfront area, or other resource area. So I was just wondering how such an item could be added to the boilerplate of the order of conditions that Bridgewater uses.
Right. I just wrote that down. I made a note. We are supposed to be meeting with some people to go over different order of conditions and whatnot. So we can look into putting that in, maybe. I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I
that-
don't see any reason why you couldn't.
One of the ways that they're spread.
I think just as standard language, I mean, I don't see any issue with that.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I'll keep digging for more then. I don't know if I could send it over in an email or not. It won't be too long. And then another thing, another is the calendar. The calendar still says 5:30 for this meeting.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, for the Bridgewater.
That's a good note. Okay.
All right,
We
I'm
can
finished.
get that fixed. 5:30 time. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And Jean has her hand up.
Jean, please state your name and address for the record.
Jean DiBattista, 260 Lakeside Drive, Bridgewater, Mass.
Hi.
I have a question on procedure. There's been some questions related to a specific project having to do with Claremont that some of the folks in our town are concerned about. But one of the things that came up recently is, Claremont has an interest in building a new hotel. I don't know if you guys are aware. I think you probably are. But it was our original understanding as townspeople that an order of intent had to be filed and an approval had to come out of this committee for that project.
So Jean, I'm going to stop you because that is an agenda item and public comment is limited to items that are not on the agenda.
So are we going to talk about it then?
No, it's going to be continued, but public comment is for those items that are not listed on the agenda.
This is a question about procedure, Bob.
But the procedure
Not a
is that,
question, no.
and I'm going to answer your question, and I've shared this with other members of your neighborhood. The Conservation Commission is not going to hear the notice of intent from Claremont until such time as the planning board is done hearing their site plan review application.
Okay, but the procedure is to still hear the notice of intent.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And they still are required to get Conservation Committee approval. I
That's
want
correct.
to understand the overall procedure.
Yep, no, they absolutely still have to come to conservation.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean.
I do not see any other hands up, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Bob. So just to go over really quickly on the agenda tonight under public hearings, we have new business. There's a notice of intent for 500 Elm Street, map 44, lot 18. We have old business. The notice of intent for 2073 South Street is actually going to be continued until the next meeting on 9/14. And the notice of intent for 0 Lakeshore Center, map 83, lot 85 will also be continued until, as Bob just said, after the planning board meets on 9/6. So probably on the 9/14 meeting also. So that those two have been postponed.
So,
Then we-
Madam Chair, you just need a motion to,
Oh,
Continue
to
those.
continue both of those?
yep.
Okay, can someone make a motion to continue 2073?
I think Harry made the motion to continue.
I know I didn't really hear it. It got fuzzy.
Yes, I did.
Okay, for 2073 South Street and 0 Lakeshore Center.
Yes.
Thank you. A second.
Did that.
Thank you.
Eileen.
Eileen. Yep. And with that, we'll have a roll call vote. Eileen,
Aye.
Harry,
Aye.
Marilyn,
Aye.
Sarah,
I think we might have just lost
Lost
Sarah
her.
again. She was here and then she is out.
okay, and myself, Wendy, aye. Thank you. So those are continued until the next meeting, probably. Next up, we have Conservation Commission business. And then we'll have an administrative items, Mass DOT extension request. We have a vote for vice chair tonight and then our adjournment. So we'll begin with new business for the notice of intent, 500 Elm Street, map 44, lot 18. The applicant representative is FW Webb Company, Hannigan Engineering Incorporated. So is somebody on from the applicant that would like to share what is being asked? What is the project?
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
Blake. Chris, could you just, your name and address and firm for the record, please?
Chris Anderson with Hannigan Engineering at 8 Monument Square, Leominster, Massachusetts, here for the FW Web Company.
And you have the ability to share your screen if you'd like to put anything up.
I will open that up right now. So can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So we're before the commission tonight for a notice of intent filing for the FW Web Company at 500 Elm Street. The work that's proposed is associated with widening of an existing industrial driveway that services the property. Just to orientate ourselves here, we have Elm Street that runs along the side of the page here. The bulk of the development is actually located on the opposite side of an existing wetland series, and that contains a industrial building that's utilized for distribution and sales of materials. This project was originally approved by the commission under DEP file number 116-1465, where a order of conditions was granted, and then construction proceeded and ultimately closed out, I believe, last year. Since that time, the applicant has started operations at the site and has encountered some difficulty relative to the access drive for the property itself. Historically, the project was designed with the intent that larger vehicles such as tractor trailers would enter and exit going northbound to Route 24. Since that time, a restriction has been placed upon the property that limits truck traffic to go southbound along Elm Street instead of going northbound in order to gain access to the highway system. In doing so, the trucks that are exiting the site itself have to perform several extensive maneuvers, which force them to cross the center line of Elm Street, which causes an inherent traffic concern relative to FW Web's operations. So as a proactive measure in order to try to alleviate this danger concern, it's the intent to widen the southbound curb radii from the site in order to facilitate tractor trailers making the appropriate maneuvers to get onto Elm Street.
Chris, can I just ask you real quick, because you have access to the mouse? Can you just show where the widening is taking place so that people know right where we're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, there you go. Thank you.
So that increased area would be this darker hatched area, if you will.
Mhm.
This will be approximately 1,250 square feet of additional impervious area. We'll be replacing the existing curb line along this area and reestablishing the vertical granite curb along the outer edge of the site, and utilizing a compound curve to further mitigate the overall impact and impervious area that will be required. Ultimately, it will taper off just outside of the 25-foot buffer zone of the wetland. So it stays outside of that buffer zone area. And that would be the majority of the work associated with the recreation of the curb radii. In order to offset the proposed impervious area, we're providing additional capacity within the existing detention basin. We utilized volumetric review for the purposes of stormwater management. We figured out how much additional runoff would occur during the 100-year storm event from this additional area and provided in excess compensation for that within the basin itself. Stormwater wise, everything drains into this wetland series. The roadway drainage gets captured by a municipal drainage catch basin, which then directs runoff into the wetland itself. And the existing basin that's proposed to be improved also discharges into the same wetland. So we're compensating by providing mitigated rates within the stormwater basin as part of the overall project. We'll be utilizing straw wall and silt fence along the limits of the work. And once everything is said and done, the entire area will be loamed and seeded for permanent stabilization. With that being said, that's the general gist of the project. So if there's any questions from the commission, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Chris. I have to work a little backwards just to make sure that I get in all of my parts, we did get a butters notification and there is a legal ad. Should I read it in, Bob?
You can read the legal ad. We did get the green cards back, but
Yes,
yes,
we did. I
procedurally, you should probably read the ad.
realized it was next to me and I missed it. So notice of public hearing, Conservation Commission, Bridgewater, Massachusetts, in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, in the Town of Bridgewater Local Wetland Bylaw. Bridgewater Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on August 24th, 2023, held as a virtual meeting over Zoom. A link and instructions to participate in the meeting will follow and be posted to the calendar on the town's website at www.bridgewaterma.org. A recording of the meeting will also be posted to the town's webpage within 48 hours after the meeting ends. The hearing is for a notice of intent, an NOI, filed by FW Web Company. The applicant proposes to widen an existing driveway to improve site accessibility. The property is owned by FW Web Company and WCKP Associates LLC and is located at 500 Elm Street, Bridgewater, Mass, map 44, parcel 8. Please contact the Bridgewater Conservation Office, 508-697-0950 for the hearing date and time. It's tonight. All interested persons are encouraged to attend. Okay, so sorry about that, backwards me. Okay, so does anybody on the commission have any questions, comments that they want to make about this project? Eileen,
Hi.
do you have any questions?
No, I looked at it right away.
Okay, Harry, do you have any questions, concerns?
No, he's very thorough in that. I don't, but safety,
Yep,
I could go along with it.
okay. Marilyn,
The same, no questions or concerns.
okay, thank you. Is Sarah, are you back on?
Yes, I am. Sorry. No questions. That was, like Harry said, very thorough. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, thanks. Bob, do you have any comments that you need to make?
No, Shane O'Brien, our town planner, and I met with Chris several months ago. We actually shared with us a couple of videos of trucks trying to get out and the maneuvers that they have to do. So, I mean, I think, again, I concur that they did a great job in terms of presenting what they needed to do. I'm satisfied that, they're doing it for all the right reasons.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And I too, don't have any questions or concerns. I can see also where it would be very difficult to pull out a tractor trailer truck from that area. And have to wait on other traffic and whatnot, so it makes sense. I had looked at, my Zoom screen just went small on me for whatever reason. Oh, and we lost the video.
I took it down so I can see if people from the public.
Oh,
raise
I
their
got
hand.
you. I mean, my only thing, like, it was just outside the 25, but it's really part of the street. So it's not like it's cutting in, whatever. So I'm fine with it. So I would ask if there's anybody on that has any questions from the public that would like to share a concern or a question regarding this project.
I am not seeing any hands.
Nope. So with no other comments or concerns, do we have a motion to close the hearing
Motion to close the hearing.
and to second?
Second,
Thank you. Roll call vote, Sarah, Harry Bailey,
Aye.
Marilyn McDonald.
aye.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Marilyn. Eileen Prisco. Where did Eileen go?
I said aye.
Oh,
We
I
can.
need. All right, thank you. And myself, aye. And do we have enough information? Do we want to make a motion to accept and second?
I'd make a motion for approval of notice of intent 500 Elm Street, map 44, lot 18.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Harry. And a roll call vote, Marilyn?
Aye. I need to know how to unmute. Aye.
Thank you. Harry,
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Eileen,
Aye.
and myself, I. And we are complete with 500 Elm Street. Thank you, Chris.
Great, thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks. Okay, so next up, we have Conservation Commission business, under which we have administrative items, Mass DOT extension request.
So Marilyn had a question with respect to the DEP number. That number stays active as long as they're continuing it prior to the expiration. Hopefully,
Well, what
they-
actually, what my question was did anything change in procedure wise? Because I noticed on the July 13th meeting where we had an extension request on 30 Stonehill, it was under new business. And this one was under administrative. In the past, we always had them under administrative because it's not really a public hearing. The order of conditions are already granted unless there was like anything going on that was a problem or concern that the department picked up. So that was my confusion where these should technically be. They have the right to renew every 3 years if their project's ongoing. So I just wanted kind of clarity if anything changed on where they file and was it different from Mass DEP. So that was really my question.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't remember back on Stonehill what it was, but yeah, I mean, I think whether it's anytime it's a public agency or the utility companies, typically we would treat those as administrative matters. So going forward, we'll make sure we're consistent and not putting it back under either old business or new business.
Can we check on regular order of regular extensions too, if that remains under administrative business?
We can, and
Okay.
certainly, I think, yeah, absolutely, we can certainly do that.
Yeah, that was,
but
I just didn't know if anything changed in the year.
Because your concern is legitimate. I mean, we want to make sure that, everything is the way that it was initially. If there's been a change, then that wouldn't be administrative. We would have to revisit it.
Okay, that was my good. Thank you.
I think Stonehill was the extension because due to COVID that we had a couple meetings ago.
That's correct.
So I don't know if that ran out.
No, it was supposed to run out in either October or November, and they were just trying to get it on early,
Oh, okay.
from what I understood.
Yep.
And I
So-
wasn't on that meeting, so I was just looking at how things were filed, so that's all.
Right.
Just wanted clarity on the request for extensions, because you will see those coming in.
Yeah, and
Sure.
I mean, it's a good point to bring up, Marilyn. Thank you.
Mhm. s- What is happening? That looked like Sarah. Is Sarah still on?
Yes,
In the waiting room. I got kicked out, she said.
in the waiting room. She's still in here.
That
She-
was a
she's
while
on.
ago, Wendy. No worries.
Oh, well, what my phone just made noise. Anyways, I'm sorry. Okay, so we supposed to make a motion to extend
No, I mean, I think, we're going to send them a letter, tell them that
that it's all set?
it's all set.
Okay.
Can I just make it, I know in the past we did vote on extensions. Again, I don't know.
Yeah, in an administrative matter, you typically wouldn't. But I mean, you can vote on it if you like.
You guys.
I know we can vote on the other ones, I just don't know. This is the same situation.
All right, well, why don't we, for now, until we get clarification on what's what? So,
Yeah.
anyone have a motion to extend?
Yeah, motion to extend Mass DOT's request for extension. I think I did have their address somewhere here. But we
Yeah, I
can
don't
just go
have
with
it.
Mass DOT for the moment.
Okay,
And
And
I
second.
second it.
thank you, Harry. And a roll call vote. Sarah Sperber,
Aye.
Eileen Prisco.
Aye.
Marilyn McDonald,
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
And myself, Wendy Smith. Aye. All right. Thank you. Next up, under administrative items, we have a vote for not the vice president, but the vice chair. So I believe,
Make a motion that we,
go ahead, Harry. That's what I
I
was gonna
make a
say.
motion
Someone-
that we make Marilyn McDonald the vice chair.
You have to
Approved,
have,
yeah.
you have to have a motion to nominate first, and then
Okay,
a second, and then you can vote.
motion to nominate.
Second,
And then, is there anyone else that is interested in being the vice chair?
Yeah.
no,
Eileen, come on, you know you are.
it's all for Maryland.
So,
Yeah.
hearing none, then now, Madam Chair, you can vote on the nomination.
Excellent. So, what do I do? Aye. All in favor?
All in favor.
I would
All
do a
in
roll
favor
call
of
vote.
Marilyn McDonald being vice chair for the Conservation Commission? Please respond with an aye. Sarah Sperber
Aye.
or a nay? Eileen Prisco,
Aye.
Harry Bailey,
Aye, most definite.
and myself, Wendy, aye. And Marilyn, I don't know, do you accept?
You can, yeah.
I will be honored to be your wingman, so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And,
Madam Chair, I don't
Honored to
think,
have you.
I don't think
For
Marilyn was
anybody that
here
has questions.
at the meeting where we procedurally said whoever is the vice chair was obligated to take us all out to dinner.
Oh.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Good girl.
But before we adjourn, I do have a question for Bob. I don't know if they still do this too. Bob, do they still drop off large scale plans to the conservation office, or is everything on e-file now?
We do,
So
we
we
get
have
hard
plans.
copies.
Okay, so if I wanted to pick up a large scale, if I was going out on a site walk, sometimes those are easier for me. You would have them at the office once they file?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, thanks.
All right, and with that. I
Motion
need
to
another
adjourn.
motion. All right, we got the motion to adjourn and a second.
Second.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And with that, everybody have a good night.
All in
Thank you.
favor, aye.
And thank you.
You.
We'll make reservations, Marilyn. We'll let you know where.
You got
Good
it. I'm in. I'm in, Bob.
Bye, everybody.
All
Bye.
right.
See you later.